The Copperhead, the best first hot. Captive care and setup.
Subscribe now. Fangs in your face.
Hey, Joey Butts and the Mississippi Venom Squad. Dan McCarty, Leonard Recchia, Len Brewer, Chris Richards, Wallace Tucker, and Sean Black. Hey, thank you guys so much for your support to Venomcentral. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that V logo and subscribe now. And come on back and check us out at Venomcentral. The Copperhead, captive care and setup, the best first hot. What's happening, y'all? I've been getting a lot of feedback on an old video we did, and it was about the best first hot and what I believe was your best first venomous snake if you're going to venture into the venomous hobby. We're going to capitalize on that, and I've had a lot of questions about copperheads and care and setup and all that, and this gives me a good excuse because I have one pair of copperheads and I've raised them from little babies, and they're at the point, the little needed desha cages I've been keeping them in, they've actually outgrown them, so they're at the point where I can put them together in something bigger. So I'm going to show you all just how to set them up, how to take care of them, and just go through the whole gambit of copperhead care and how easy and cheap it is to keep them. I'm going to build like a naturalistic cage for these guys and show you guys just how cheap and inexpensive it is to do it. I mean, you don't need all that fancy stuff, how you can get all this stuff just running around your town and hitting a couple of stores. And it's inexpensive, and you can make something beautiful for you to watch your animals. Hang in there, guys, we're gonna jump right into it, and I'm gonna start building an exhibit for you. Okay, so the Copperhead. Now, in my opinion, it's the best first hot. I mean, if you're gonna venture into the venomous snake hobby, there's a lot of reasons to start with a Copperhead. And I'm gonna tell you, the big one is that there's plenty of anti-venom available. Probably every hospital in the United States is stocked with crowfab, okay? But one of the biggest reasons too is that it's the least toxic snake there is. I mean, copperhead bites are rarely fatal. I mean, I think in the past 20 years, there's only been 5 deaths that attributed to copperhead bites. And them deaths were actually because of secondary conditions. Elderly, pre-existing diseases, and the bite may have just triggered something else that caused it to be fatal. I think it's the best first hot there. It's an easy snake to take care of. I mean, just very, very simple. They don't have a lot of requirements, and they're plentiful. I mean, they're everywhere. I probably see 2 or 3 a day when I venture out, and I'm out running around working. We see them all the time. The simplicity of keeping them, I mean, I keep mine literally, and I've been keeping mine since they were little guys in just little desha cages, newspaper, hide box, water bowl thing. But I'm gonna set them up cool. I'm gonna make a nice little exhibit for them because I like to watch them, and I'm gonna pair them up. And now mine are just at about the 2-year mark. And I'll tell you what's interesting is that my male just shut off. He stopped eating, and he's just been cruising his little cage. So it's getting into their breeding season. So them to be actually sexually active right now is probably pushing it a little bit, but I have heard of copperheads reproducing at 18 months old. It's a very prolific snake. I mean, it's one of the few snakes that is, I mean, parthenogenesis happens with copperheads all the time. That's your asexual births. That a female will just give birth out of the blue without a male ever being present. Cool stuff. It's a good first hot. And I preach this, everybody, because, you know, everybody wants to start with something arboreal, something that requires a little more skill, something, I mean, everybody wants to start with a squamager. You know, the squamager is a hot snake, man, and you don't realize it. Just because they're small don't mean they can't put a hurting on you. And there's no anti-venom for them. You know, they try to use the Echis anti-venom and it doesn't work that good. Anyways, enough about that stuff. Let's get back on copperheads. I'm gonna do this build for you guys, and to start out, I'm gonna put this thing together real quick for you. And this whole thing, honestly, cost me about $100. Literally $100. Now, this 20-gallon aquarium, it's got the Reptile lid, you know. I bought this damn thing at a yard sale, right? I paid $14 for it, for the tank, the lid, the whole shot, right? At a yard sale. And to buy a new 20-gallon reptile tank or fish tank, whatever they want to call them now. I mean, you probably pay 50 to 60 bucks. If you go to PetSmart, you're going to pay a whole lot more, you know, but if you're a smart shopper, you can find a 20-gallon long with the right kind of lid for probably 60, 70 bucks. And the remaining stuff, I mean, bedding, hide boxes, all that stuff, it's very inexpensive. But I'm gonna show you guys how to build one with basically nothing. Just spend maybe 20 bucks on supplies and using your head to find some neat stuff, cheap, to make a really cool looking exhibit. So we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna start putting this thing together for you guys. Okay, so ultimately you're gonna wanna start with your bedding. Now, me, I like newspaper on everything, but I wanna create this to be, you know, nice to look at and fun for the snakes. You know, I'm gonna set it up where they'll live the rest of their lives in here. And this is adequate enough space for them. So I'm gonna set this up natural looking, so it's nice to look at, and it's fun to watch them hunt and stuff like that in a natural setting. But I always start, especially with copperheads, because they like a little bit of moisture, a little bit of humidity. I start with a mix, okay? Just peat moss, your garden center. You can get a bag of peat moss for $5. Just pure peat moss. I start with some peat moss in the bottom, okay? And don't be chintzy with it, put some in there, you know what I mean? It's nice and it's dry, but when you actually hit this stuff with a mister, it's gonna fluff up and it's gonna turn a little bit darker in color. I start with some peat moss, but then I mix a top layer of my pure cypress mulch. And it's a naturalistic bedding, it's clean, it's, you know, it's got no chemicals on it, nothing. It's just straight from the earth, you know what I'm saying? So, you know. And cypress mulch, guys, Lowe's or Home Depot, you buy a bag of it for, I mean, I think I paid $4 for a big bag of it, you know? But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mix it like this. I'll mix it up and it kind of binds it all together real good. And the copperheads look nice on it because they pop because of their color. But mix it up real good. And when it comes to cleaning with this kind of substrate, I mean, what's nice about using the mulch is you can spot clean, you know. If you get a snake that feces, and it's easy to put a glove on or a little scooper and spot clean, you know what I mean? Then go ahead and hit that little spot with your chlorhexidine to kill any germs that may be remaining. But it's pretty adequate. I usually try to get it, you know, a couple inches high. That's pretty good. All right. And then, let me tell you, you don't need that damn cocoa bark and all the fancy stuff you see that's for sale at the reptile shows and at the pet stores. Peat moss and some damn pure cypress bedding, pure cypress mulch. That's all you need. I seen one of them bags for sale at one of the pet stores. It was like $20 for a bag this big of cocoa bedding. I was like, you gotta be out of your mind. I never paid that much for that. Now, all your goodies to go in here, okay? I get these little pieces of bark. Now this is real bark. This ain't fake plastic bark. This is actually water oak, you know, so it's nothing harmful in this type of wood or anything to your animals. But I find these damn things everywhere. I mean, we've got water oaks in our yard, and when I'm out in the woods. But what I'll do is I'll get them big pieces and I'll bust them all up, and I'll use the little curves as little hides. What I do with this stuff, if you find these with little holes in them, that's from termites or from little wood boring beetles and stuff. I'll make them the right size. I'll put them in a microwave and I'll cook them for 5 minutes, and you'll hear popping and snapping, but you're not going to start a fire. That will kill anything that's on them, trust me. And then I just let them dry out and they're perfectly clean and safe. But so I start with that. Those are my hides, and I'll just dig me out some areas for some hides. Let's see here, how do I want to do it? Let's start with maybe like that. But like I said, you cook these things in a microwave and they're totally safe, and you'll kill any bugs that's on them. But I use these things as hides, okay? As hides, and I kind of wiggle them around in different places. I give them cool hides, warm hides. So, but with your copperheads, basically I leave them at damn room temperature most of the time, but I will give these a little heat lamp on one side, just a little basking spot, a little warm area. But I'll dig out a little area like this just to make a nice little cave there for them. Nice little retreat, nice little hide spot retreat, somewhere where they can curl up and hide and feel comfortable. I'll hollow it out and I'll stack them on top of each other, you know. And let's see here. Just make another one this way. Actually, this would be a double hide, okay? We'll put one there like that. We'll run that one all the way out to the end. Okay, so that way, there's a hide there, there's one there. And let's see here, I got another one. And this, see now, as I'm constructing this kind of stuff, this will be my cool end, okay? This will be where the snakes will come to retreat to a cool end. And if they want to warm up, which the copperheads, honestly guys, I keep it room temperature, 75 to 78 degrees. That's all I need. And in the winter, like now it's cooling off, I'll turn a little heat lamp off and just leave them. I'll stop feeding them, I'll just leave them alone for a couple months and let them just get into the 60s. But, look at that one fits like a sock, right? Perfect. And this would be a little basking area. This side would be a little basking area with also a hide. You can get up under there if they want to. Very nice, that one fits perfect. Now, your green stuff, I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys, the best place to go for this stuff, Packitans, there's all the little hobby shops have this green stuff for making things, but I go to damn, like the dollar stores. What's the one up on the corner, D, that I hit the
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree, and you can get this stuff like this. You get these for $1, okay? You buy this from one of the specialty reptile stores. You know, your plants for your exhibits, they're $20. You get them for $1 a piece, you know. And let's see, we'll just shove that one in there like that. Okay, so you see we got my dollar store green plant in there. And I'll tell you what else I get is these. You'll see these little garland rings, okay? And they're $1, all right? And you get them in different kind of leaves and different colors. But I'm gonna tell you, I mean, for $1 you can't go wrong. But what I do with them is I take this little, it's like a kind of like a little cardboard rope, and I cut them out of there, okay? And you end up with this. Just your strand of green stuff, you know what I mean? It's great for your arboreal stuff, but stuff like this, I mean, it's perfect, and it's cheap. You can build this stuff so cheap, and it'll look beautiful when it's done. But I'll go ahead and tack this stuff in there and bury it halfway, you know, so it looks natural, you know? Just tuck it in there, bury the strands on some of it. But the whole ideal is to make it appealing to look at, and it makes the snakes comfortable. I mean, it makes them feel comfortable to be tucked into this green stuff and have plenty of hides, cool end, warm end, basking spot, you know. And when your friends come over, you can look at it and go, yep, that's my exhibit I built. Zoo quality. But, and you know what, guys, you just kind of be a little creative, you know. It ain't all gotta fit perfect, because in nature, everything is just wild. So you just run with it. Okay. We'll tuck that one under there like that. There we go. Perfect. And now all we need is a water bowl. Instead of buying them fancy $30 little rock water bowls, I'll use a microwave dish. I like to use the black ones because they'll kind of blend in with everything, you know. But I'll kind of dig out a little spot and countersink them just a little bit, you know. And let's see, this one we'll put this way. And that's it. I mean, how simple is that? And how cheap is that? I mean, the whole thing is less than $100. Now you just gotta add some snakes. And on bigger exhibits and different things, I'll even put like a, you know, I find these when I'm in the woods and hunting, you know, like a shed antler, you know what I mean? Kind of pop them in there. But with this one, we don't need that shed antler. Very simple, very clean, very easy. And the snakes are gonna love it, and you're gonna like watching your snakes in this naturalistic exhibit. Very simple, but we're gonna put some snakes in this thing next. Okay, so we've got our little exhibit built, all right? Everything's in place. Like I said, less than $100. I mean, for your first hot, perfect. We're gonna put some water in that bowl. And I use all purified water for my snakes, guys. There we go. We don't give them tap water, but and that's it. So we're ready to insert some copperheads. Okay, we're all set up. We got fresh water. It's time to insert some snakes. But hey, I say copperheads too, guys, because I mean copperheads are plentiful, and there's 5 subspecies. I mean, there's the northerns, the southerns, the contortrix, the damn the Texas ones, which are the ones that I have. I have the broadbands, the Latissinctus. There's the Transpicos with the Pictogaster, which are beautiful. I mean, they're all beautiful. But anyways, there's one more.
Osage.
The Osage copperhead. That's right, the Osage. But anyways, they're plentiful, and you know, it's not an expensive animal, and there are some cool morphs. There are some really cool morphs. And I used to breed copperheads. I mean, that was one of the snakes I studied for a long time. I bred the northerns, I bred the southerns, and now I'm getting ready to breed the damn broadbands. Maybe Dina can find some of the old footage we have of some of our northerns and southerns having babies. I used to video all that stuff and take pictures. The general ease of taking care of them, and they're hardy. So it's a great first venomous snake to learn with. But always get a mentor and start with a mentor, guys, and learn the right way to handle things and the right way to do it. I mean, that's important. But enough of rambling. Let's put some snakes in here and lid this thing up. And what I'll do is I'll move this thing up on a rack where it's going to be stationed for, that's going to be its home. But let's put some snakes in there. Start with. Yeah, check that out, dude, huh? Oh boy, he really just pops on there. Now I'm gonna tell you, that's the male, and I got a feeling. Look at him looking at me. He's like, "What's going on?" Yeah, he's like, "I'm in a new place, huh, buddy?" I got a feeling once this female's in there with him, in the next couple hours, I think I'm gonna see copulation because he's in breeding mode. And even though they are a little bit young, I mean, they're just pushing, they're just at about 2 years old. I know that some copperheads actually can mature at 18 months. I mean, but let's get, and she's a little bit bigger than he is. And now she just had a meal too, so we're gonna be real gentle with this girl. Let's put you in over here, girl. There we go. All right, and let's go ahead and lid them up. And look at that, that's a thing of beauty. Look at how they pop off that substrate. I mean, that natural substrate. They just blend in. They're just beautiful on that. Very happy home right there for them guys. Okay, and you can see these guys look wonderful in there, don't they? And look, you can see the female. She is already curled up in a tight little ball underneath that little hide right there, underneath that piece of bark. You see her little nose peeking out there. And this is the male up here, and he's looking for his new hiding spot. Which, you see, you want to give them a couple different options, you know, like this is a nice big deep cool hide, and then there's a second cool hide, okay, and then over here will be a warmer hide. This is the warm end of the cage, and we've got a little heat lamp up there with a little 15-watt bulb in it, and it's also a basking spot. But they will be very happy in there. And it's nice to look at. It's appealing to the eye. Look at her. She's like, what is that? What is that big eye looking at me, huh? But very cheap, very simple, fast, easy build, guys. It don't have to cost you a bunch of money to enjoy your animals. And now, keeping these guys, I will keep these guys at room temperature. See, like right here is room temperature in this room right now. And it is 78 degrees up high and it's 76 down low. I got a little satellite reader on the floor. And that little hot spot, that'll give them, yeah, you know, maybe 80, 82 degrees. And this would be on a cycle. It'd be, you know, 12 on, 12 off. And a diet of just lab mice. They'll be fine. And copperheads live a long time. Let me tell you, I've got a friend that had a copperhead for over 30 years. I mean, it's crazy. They're very long-lived, hardy animals. So they make a perfect first hot, you know. And they're going to explore around in there and discover this new cage and figure out where do you want to be. But there it is, guys. Awesome little build. And it's fun doing this kind of stuff. I love doing this kind of stuff. And you can see the little male, he's already found him a nice little hide spot. Look at his little head poking out over there. He's peeking out at that big female. He's trying to figure out. He's like, whoa, she's a big bitch. She's a big girl, huh? But I got a feeling this is going to be a couple hours. He's going to be out here as soon as these lights come out, and he's going to be courting her, and she's discovering all her new hiding places here. She's bumping all around in there. It'll take her a little bit to calm down, but she looks wonderful in there. And this way I can watch them and enjoy them, and great for taking pictures too. More of a naturalistic setting. See, they're tearing it up already. they're in there prodding and checking out everything. He's starting to chase her around in there already. He's been in there 20 minutes with her. Just wanted to show you a quick build, how you can do something inexpensive. You ain't got to be rich to enjoy your copperheads. Look how great they look in there. I mean, it's appealing to the eye, and it's fun to watch them like that. And it's the best first hot. I mean, it's a native animal, and it's safer to keep. It's better than starting with a damn rattlesnake. It's just it's the way to go. And let me tell you, they're plentiful and easy to get, you know. And the Venom. The Venom isn't that bad. I mean, literally, like I said, I think there's been like 5 deaths in how many years? Like 20 or something, right, D? I mean, and that was attributed to secondhand conditions. But it's still a serious bite. Let me tell you. I know quite a few people that's been bit by copperheads, and they say it's painful as a son-bitch. I mean, you know, localized swelling, a little bit of tissue damage. I mean, they say it's like putting your hand on a damn flame. It's just painful as you can ever imagine. But so it's still a serious animal, and you still got to respect it. Just because it's the least toxic doesn't mean that it can't hurt you, because ultimately, it can't hurt you. They very rarely administer crowfab, even for a copperhead bite, just in extreme cases. But still, it's the way to go for your first venomous snake after you've had some mentoring and you spend some time with somebody that's skilled and teaches you the ropes. And you can go ahead and build your own exhibit for $100. So, but anyways, guys, hey, I hope you enjoyed this. Just a quick one today. I was getting ready to move these guys out and do something. It just gave me an opportunity to share it with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that V logo and subscribe now. And come on back and check us out at Venomcentral. This is Willie. We're checking out. Later.